Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, angelic astrologer and spiritual consultant on angelmessenger.net, and I'm here to do a soul reflections video for you. I did the weekly angel card reading for May 5th through May 11th, and I was guided to touch base with all of you and see how all of you are doing after last month's major energies. We had a full moon lunar eclipse, we had the cardinal grand cross that came together to a head with Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto. Then we had a new moon solar eclipse towards the end of April. So it was like a whirlwind of energy and activity. I mean, the month just flew by, and here we are now in the month of May. So where is everybody at? How is everybody doing? There's been a lot of changes and redirections, and now it's kind of a little bit of a settling time. There's still a lot of changes going on. There's still a lot of energies that we're experiencing. But I feel that with Mars retrograde, which is slowing down, getting ready to go direct this month, there's kind of almost a little bit of a feeling of a slowdown of energy. Certainly not like last month. Certainly not the craziness of April. Now, April brought a lot of situations and circumstances and relationships to a head, whether it was about career or romantic life. I know a lot of people were moving from one location to another. I know a lot of people who, in relationships, things again came to a head, and they are now in the aftermath of deciding where do they go from there, where do we go from here kind of energy. And with career matters, I've noticed a lot of shakeups within organizations, within people's jobs and careers, where things again need to change or be redirected, or the people are deciding to go in a different direction. So again, we're still in that aftermath, like I wrote in the angelic astrology article, where the wave that grows and grows and grows, and then when it hits the shore, when it crashes on the shore, it's that after time that we see what the effects of that wave had, to put it lightly. So in this month, there's a few things going on astrologically. Nothing certainly, again, like the month of April. But very soon here, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to be moving into Gemini. It's actually moving into Gemini on May 7th. And you're going to find that people's minds are going to become a lot more busy. Right now, there's more of a thought process going on where it is more down to earth, maybe logical, maybe actually feeling a little bit stuck, because sometimes Taurus, that sign of Taurus that Mercury is now in, can feel a little stuck and slow moving, but it makes thoughtful decisions. It likes to think things through before it actually makes a decision. But as it moves into Gemini on May 7th, people might start making quicker decisions. There's going to be a lot more communication, a lot more ideas that kind of come into our lives, a lot more thought processes that flow in and out of our mind. And it's going to be faster, on a mental level. It'll become much more fast moving. And sometimes with Gemini, there's like a lot of options. There's a lot of directions, a lot of options, a lot of things to look at. So sometimes that can make things more confusing, because of the nature of having so many things to look at. So, at least we have options, though, and those options, may definitely come in handy. So I say center yourself, make sure that you center and ground yourself to be able to make the most appropriate decisions for the next step that you all need to take in whatever area of your life you're needing to make those decisions. As we move towards the middle of the month, May 14th is a full moon. Now, it's not a lunar eclipse like it was last month, but I still feel it's going to be very powerful and potent because the full moon is in the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is a very deep and intense sign. It deals with energy, and this is where the planet Saturn is right now. Saturn has been, moving through Scorpio for a while, kind of bringing up karmic lessons of power and control and secrets and things that are hidden. And again, this is on, it's on a collective level, but also within our individual lives. So on May 14th, as that full moon comes to a head at 24 degrees of Scorpio, right before the full moon, the moon in Scorpio will conjunct Saturn. And again, I feel like it's going to be a very emotional time. It's going to bring up a lot of, again, energies from the depth of our being that deals with power and control and being our own authority and taking charge of our lives. And with the moon being our feelings and our emotions, and with it being in a relationship with Saturn, sometimes it can bring us down emotionally a little bit. So you're going to have to make sure that you stay centered. It can also help to bring, though, emotional security and stability as we're making proper choices for ourselves based on our own sense of personal power. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm a person about personal power and empowerment. In fact, I feel like that's one of my missions here, is to help to empower all of you, to kind of turn on that light switch, as it were, of you owning and integrating and stepping into your sense of personal power. So that full moon on May 14th, it's going to bring up a more intensity of these issues of personal power. So, take back your power, own your power, know that you are a powerful spiritual being, that you are connected to God's source energies. I mean, we are co-creator with God's source energies, and we're here to create our lives. We, are not a victim of circumstance, and we no longer need to depend on or give our power away to organizations or other people. It doesn't mean we can't work in conjunction with those other people. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to find those relationships that do empower us and support our own sense of individual power, and we theirs. And in that way, whether it be on individual relationship matters, family matters, work matters, or on a bigger in a bigger way with the collective of humanity, we all need to work together and empower one another to create this world to be in a place of peace and balance and harmony, and sustaining, having the earth sustain us, being in relationship with the earth, and having us be able to be in relationship with every other person, every other being, whether it be an animal, plant, and other people on this planet. We are all made from the same source. And again, with Saturn going through Scorpio for some time, and with the Pluto-Uranus squares that are helping to transition and transform and transmute all negative lower vibrational energies and places and energies of disempowerment or disinformation, or those entities that feel that they want to be in power of control of the planet, and it's on smaller scales as well as larger scales that we are learning to transmute these old negative paradigm energies. These are old paradigm energies that need to be released and let go as we step into a new higher vibrational energy, as we step into a new paradigm of energy, as we step into our power and share that with every other soul, every other individual, every other entity on this planet in a positive and beneficial way. So the big thing that happens this month, I feel, is Mars, which is our physical energy, our forward momentum, our passion in life. It is slowing down right now as it has been retrograde for a couple of months here. It's slowing down to turn direct, to direct motion. It actually turns direct on May 19th. On a physical level, I feel like we're all feeling a little bit more zapped in energy, a little bit more tired, a little bit more lacking in passion or energy, so to speak, where we actually need more physical rest, and that's okay. You know, you have to honor your body and get that physical rest that's needed. So just know that if you're feeling really drained right now, it's because Mars is slowing down. And, you know, if you think about it, if Mars is our physical energy and it's slowing down to a stop, it's going to cause us to feel kind of slowed down, you know, a little bit. The other thing that Mars slowing down here to turn direct is doing is, if we go back to April again with all the very high intense transformational energies, it really pushed us and challenged us to make changes that were needed in our lives, in different areas of our lives. And now that Mars, though, is slowing down here, it may feel like we're coming into a stalling period, you know, a time period where, you know, things started to change and we started to redirect our energies. But now it feels like we're either stuck or the things that we initiated aren't moving, you know, and we're wondering why that is. So know that once Mars turns direct and starts to move forward, you're going to see things start to fall into place. Now it's going to take a few weeks before Mars speeds up again, so probably not until we get towards the end of June and into July will we really start to feel things moving forward. But just the fact that it will turn direct on March 19th, you'll start to see again all those plans that feel stalled, or all those directions that we decided to move forward on, you know, especially in April when we got redirected. You know, again, feeling like things aren't moving very fast at all. Once Mars picks up speed, you're going to see those projects, those plans, those ideas, those things that you've decided to make changes with will start to visibly fall into place. So that's something definitely to look forward to. And then the very next day on May 20th, the Sun will move into Gemini, you know, where we said Mercury moved into on May 7th. So again, Taurus is a sign that takes its time. Taurus likes the status quo. Taurus does not like changes. So as we move into the Sun in Gemini on May 20th, again joining Mercury in Gemini, things are going to be a lot more conducive to bringing those changes in. You know, the energy is going to be lighter. The energy is going to be busier. There's going to be a lot more happening, and happening in many different directions at once, as Gemini is a sign that is a multitasker and wears many different hats and likes to do a lot of different things. So, you know, you'll see the energies after that time period kind of speeding up and moving and redirecting. Again, keep your center, because Gemini is not a sign that's very grounded and centered. So you want to make sure that you get out in nature, you meditate, maybe do yoga, you know, whatever it is that can help to keep you centered, because that's going to help keep your head clear, your heart clear, as far as the directions that you all need to go in next. Now, I decided to pull a card, you know, just to find, you know, get some guidance from the angels and from Spirit as far as this month of May and what needed to be focused, or what needed to be paid attention to. And so I used the Angels of Atlantis deck by Stuart Pearce and meditated and pulled this card. And if you can see that, it's Archangel Raphael. And it says Earth Force at the bottom, okay? And as I looked at that card and I meditated on that card, I mean, you can see that, let's see if I can get a better picture there. There you go. You can see that there's many things going on in this card, actually. I mean, it's Earth Force. You know, this is, to me, connecting with the Earth, connecting with the Earth Mother. You can see a lot of energy here that, to me, signifies planetary energy as well, or otherworldly energy. There's even a crop circle down here on the bottom of the card, and the crop circle obviously is our otherworldly brothers and sisters kind of visiting our planet here. Again, there is in the background here, if I can take a look at it, there's kind of a mountain or a large hill, and there almost looks like a Stonehenge or an ancient stone here on top of this mountain or on top of this hill. And from that ancient stone, that's where some of that light is emanating from, that otherworldly light that comes from this planet up here, coming down to the earth, you know, from the ancient stone. And I really felt like this card was a call to connect with the earth more. You know, the earth, to me, you know, is a living, breathing entity and has a soul, just like we all have a soul. Again, we're all interconnected, and it's not just people, but it's nature and rocks and plants and water and air and trees. I mean, you know, they all have energy. They all have soul energy too. And the earth is going through a lot of changes right now. And you know, it's not just about power and control with humanity or those that are in a place of power, but it's actually those people that you know, claim to be in this place of power that are abusing the power. They've abused the earth, or we've abused the earth for a very long time. And the earth is trying to cleanse and redirect herself as well. So as much as we're going through energy shifts, she's going through energy shifts. And I feel like, again, getting out in nature, not just to ground yourself, but to also give your healing energy, give your unconditional love and compassion energy to Mother Earth. This is going to help to heal her, which in turn is going to help to heal you. You know, we need the earth to be able to sustain our lives. So this is part of the evolutionary process as well, is to pay attention to that. And Archangel Raphael is the angel of this card, and Archangel Raphael is the healing angel. It's about healing. So, you know, a dual message here. Again, the earth is going to help to heal us and to ground us in our center. And we can help to heal her as well. And I feel like there's yet another message here as we look at again, the otherworldly energies that are swirling about here from the planet, from this other planet to our planet and all around us. And that's our other earthly brothers and otherworldly brothers and sisters that are assisting us. You know, they're out there and they're helping us during this really tremendous time in the Earth's history. You know, on an astrological level, we look at it as the Pluto-Uranus squares that are breaking down the old paradigm and bringing in a new and better way of being and living for the planet. And our brothers and sisters of the light are helping us with that as well. You know, the archangels, the ascended masters, those from other systems, other planets, they are all here to help us at this very important time in our history as a humanity and the history of the earth. So I hope everything is going wonderfully well for you, and I send much love and light and healing and many blessings to each and every one of you. And I hope you move forward on your path in the highest and most empowering way, you know, to own your power, claim your power, integrate your power, step into the reality of who you really are, what you've always been, what you'll always be. And as you do that and you empower yourselves, create your own reality in the most positive, beneficial, and beautiful way that you possibly can. So many, many blessings. Until next time, love and light.